Yes, we are.
And we were talking about the monkeys before.
The monkeys.
The monkeys.
Gordy did nothing wrong.
I don't know.
Gordy didn't think
Wait, Gordy's the guy from Nope?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the chimp.
I forgot about Gordy.
Oh, they have a chimp in the movie?
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Oh, boy.
It's good.
No wonder. So, I don't know. What worries me about this stuff and the proof of God and all this other stuff is that the more science keeps finding proof that the universe now has had a beginning, right? The more people, as they do polls, people still show that they don't believe in God, and which is very weird. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because then are we looking for proof, or nobody cares now? Because
Nobody
now they
cares.
know that well, if nobody cares, then what's the purpose of all this stuff?
I think that we're falling more into the nobody cares and your truth. That's your truth, but my truth is this. And then you show. There's actually a thing going on. I know Martin knows Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
He's like popping out, and he had like an interview thing that he was doing on Twitch, I think, and he was live streaming, and he said like the majority of bad drivers are women, and then the guy brought up stats, and he was like, oh, but it's statistically proven that like men actually cause more accidents. That's why insurance companies, younger men, they charge them more because they're more likely to get into an accident. And he said, well, your statistical data is just numbers, but my personal experience trumps over that, and I don't care what you think.
Well, statistically, men are in more accidents.
Yeah.
But what's proper is that women cause more accidents.
Okay.
That's the proper. When the studies that I looked into it, that's what I saw.
Well,
is that women cause more
yeah.
accidents and men are in more accidents.
The reason I bring that up is because it was just an example of like how, yeah, obviously they're talking about two different. You can break it up into what's causing and then who's in the accidents. But he's not the only example. But other people have done that. Like you show them proof, or you show them numbers, and they're like, yeah, but that's not what I experienced, and my experience is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody now. It's just I'm saying like everybody has their own truth now. Nobody wants to have an objective truth. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the reason I'm bringing that up is because, to me, as I experienced it and I started noticing is that people thought that was an excuse. Oh, well, show me the proof. And that was going to be an excuse that, that's going to be so difficult that they're going to leave me alone. And because the proof is so much around us, right? Mm-hmm. And because there's so much proof that is showing them that they're wrong, now they're deciding to ignore it. I think that's what's happening.
Mm.
And the reason I was showing it, because we were talking about the proof of God, and we were talking about before how complex the universe is, that there's laws that govern it. There's, we talk about moral laws, who put laws, without lawgivers. There's design. You guys were talking about the Goldilocks, right? Mm-hmm. That we're like in the Goldilocks zone or whatever that.
The perfect planet.
Exactly. So I know that a lot of scientists now just observing it. You guys been seeing the pictures? I don't know if you guys have. You probably could look at
the Hubble.
Phone. No, not the Hubble. The James Webb. It's like it has a crazy enormous mirror. It's way clearer than the Hubble telescope.
Oh, the new one.
The new one that they sent out.
Yeah.
So it's like showing crazy proof of like how everything's expanding and how. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because back in the day, the greatest minds in the world thought that the universe was infinite, right? Mm-hmm. It always existed, and it was like a foundation. It was always there, steady. Mm-hmm. But as they started to do investigations, they started to notice that that's not the case, right? Mm-hmm. They started noticing that there was like a red shift, is what they call it. When they started looking, Hubble was one of the first ones who noticed it. That when he like looked afar and like something was like million light years away or whatever he was looking at, he said there was a red shift, that it looks like it was going away from us. And he was saying that the planets seem to be hurtling or moving away from a point. And then that's how it started becoming known that, hey, the universe maybe is not infinite, and it has. The reason I'm bringing that up because we talked about it last podcast, right? It's either something needs to be eternal, something needs to be infinite.
Yeah.
they chose to pick the universe. But nobody, us that are, we're more in depth into the scriptures and stuff like that. The scriptures already said who pushed everything or caused everything into existence.
Yeah.
It was something that was outside time, matter, and space, and something or someone that was infinite or with no beginning.
I actually have some points to add on for that.
Yeah, good.
So God must be spaceless because he created space, timeless because he created time, immaterial because he created matter, powerful because it created out of nothing, intelligent because the creation event and the universe was precisely designed, like we brought up the Goldilocks and how Earth was in the perfect area, and it had to be a personal God because it made a choice to convert a state of nothing into something, and an impersonal force. They don't make choices, so there has to be a personal side to what created everything.
Yeah, that's very good because I don't know if we touched it last podcast, but that's a good point.
Shout out to Dr. Frank Turek.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very good point because, a painter decides to paint.
Yeah.
And that's what pushes him for that to show up. It's like, nothing's going to show up like for nothing, which we started talking about, like, everything evolved. So the eyes decided to open and close with light on their own.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Before the heart, how did the heart decide, hey, I'm gonna start pumping blood without knowing what blood was? You know what I mean? Like it's getting to a point, like we were talking about. A lot of people asked for evidence. Now they want to ignore the evidence.
Yeah.
But in that same breath, they want to say that the people that are in our position or that are thinkers or people that read are not thinking. You're being like brainwashed and you're walking down. So to me, it seems like society is battling something. And I don't know. We're going to try to put our finger on it. Not our foot, but we're going to try to put our finger on it because as we talk and have these conversations, something's got to give, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about, like we talked about the Matrix when we were talking about and that's what the reason that we talked about that and we're bringing that up is because they're saying that all of this is almost like a computer generated reality, right? Yeah. And the reason they say that is because there's information in every like plant. When Barack Obama was president, one of his advisors or whatever, like that was into like nature. I don't know if you want to look that up. He's the one who said it, that he found code in everything in nature. Code. Yeah, he said he found code in
the golden ratio I'm talking about kind of thing, or no, that's different.
Yeah, it could be that, but he was talking about code like a programming. Like every leaf, every plant was programmed to do or grow a certain amount, and how many leaves. Like he was finding instructions is what he was trying to say. And again, instructions, codes, programming, all that stuff just doesn't happen.
I think I found it here.
Okay.
It says, it turns out scientists has found computer code embedded into the fabric of reality, which points to strong evidence of a creator. It says, the coding we're talking about here is not DNA, but another topic. His name is James Gates, a theoretical physicist at the University of Maryland. He studies string theory and supersymmetry, which seems to explain the most elementary parts of the cosmos. He said when he was developing diagrams to represent equations in string theory, he noticed that these equations are indistinguishable from error-correcting coding found in browsers. The browser coding is a special kind of coding developed by a mathematician. His name is Cloud Shannon. But he said, just as browser coding obviously had to have been written by an intelligent mind, the same is true for the coding found in nature. I'm trying to see more of his finding.
Yeah, that's exactly the guy I was talking about.
Yeah, he's from the University of Maryland. He said, it's stark evidence of an ultimate ethereal programmer. His findings are solid, and physicist, yeah, Tristan Hubish assures that the discovery of coding and supersymmetry is a rigorously proven theorem. So this is already proven. This is not, something that they're just making up. They found it. So that's big. But again, people haven't even heard of that. I haven't heard of that.
Again, a lot of people are not. We were talking about before, right? We have information, but some information is more important than other. Yeah. Some help you in life, and some is irrelevant. Some of it we've been taught to acquire it.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about, you guys were saying that there's a lot of people that they have a bunch of information, but they can't apply it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the problem is because they don't know where to apply it or when to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what position that, I don't know if you've seen people that do that. Like they awkwardly try to like spit random facts in the wrong moments. It's like, bro, we're not talking about that. Like,
They just regurgitate what they hear.
yeah, I remember.
Smart.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah. So that's a problem because then a lot of people like to just, what I'm noticing is they like to interact more in a virtual world than actually in real life.
Yeah,
And I think that's a problem.
definitely.
It's a big problem. So I want to share a verse, Romans 1:20, just to continue talking, because it says, I'm going to read ESV, so the English Standard Version. It says, for his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world in the things that have been made, so that they are without excuse. The reason I'm bringing that up is because right now, not only in the human body, not only in space, not only in nature, right? Anything you can think of, even in technology, because technology copies, it copies nature.
Yeah.
We were talking about like the camera lenses and the aperture and, you know, the shutter speed or whatever. Everything is trying to copy the eye and how the eye perceives light. And it's trying to...
It's the same, right? Art imitates life, basically.
Yeah, we were talking about that. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because if there's so much proof that people, so we're walking, right? We're chilling. We were just placed here, right?
Yeah,
We don't know nothing, right? We just showed up. We don't know why we're here, right? We're newly to this place, and we find a watch.
Yeah.
Are you gonna assume that this thing with numbers on it on the floor or with hands just popped?
No. This has to be a watchmaker.
Right. And if it did just pop there, then there should be a couple more just scattered around, or they should be pieces of other watches that were not evolved, right? Or not into existence around, just laying around. Yeah. But if you just see a watch there and you look and you look and you walk and you walk and you remember, dang, that thing, I mean, I say it's a watch, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because we just got here. Right. What is that thing? Has some straps or whatever. Like, I don't know what it is. It's weird, but I never seen it nowhere else.
It doesn't make sense the argument for me, every time we talk about this, the argument gets worse and worse and worse for atheists, because it's just like how, like, oh, it just came to be.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling to me.
There's
I don't
no
understand.
evidence of nothing creating something, except for the alleged Big Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then even Lawrence Krauss says, well, and then there was something. So then the guy, I remember in the clip, he was like, oh, so then you're saying there's something. And you're saying nothing is something. He was like, no, it was nothing.
Okay, nothing is unstable. What do you mean that nothing is unstable? Nothingness is nothingness.
Well, the physics has changed what we mean by nothing. In fact, nothing is a empty space, is a boiling, bubbling brew of virtual particles popping in and out of existence.
Oh, wait,
so
wait, no,
fast,
that's not nothing. That's something. Why are those virtual particles there?
Because of the laws of quantum mechanics. And they tell us that even though you can try and count and see what's in there in empty space, you'll see nothing. But in fact, one of the biggest mysteries, and the reason I wrote the book, one of the greatest discoveries of the last 50 years is that, in fact, empty space weighs something.
Empty space weighs something.
Dumb argument. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
you're implying something was there.
But then everybody laughs at him because he's trying so hard to explain nothing.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy, because the scripture talked about it. He said they're so wise, or in their own knowledge they become fools. And he was so adamant that that's what he believed and that's what's true. And then everybody's laughing at him because you said it's nothing, but you're trying to explain nothing. How do you do that?
It's impossible. Yeah, you can't. If you're trying to explain nothing, then you should realize something's wrong with your argument, because nothing is nothing.
Yeah.
How would you try to explain that? That doesn't make sense.
It's true. It's true.
Man.
But then even like, no, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying that it's just funny to me because it's happening over and over again. Like, if that's why we're, as a society, I put myself in it too. It's not that I'm out of it. we tend to argue right away.
Yeah.
We tend to get into discussion. It's more fun, right, to argue. But if you sit back, like I was watching that. That's why the recordings and all this stuff is good, and people still don't get the picture. Like the reason that things are being recorded and Q&As and interviews and stuff, it's not for you to argue with the screen. Oh, he believes in that. Take that guy off, cancel. No, shut up, be quiet, sit back and listen. Because if you sit back and listen, like the people that were laughing at Lawrence Krauss, they would know that, that does sound kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it comes from the smartest man on the planet. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be happening. Like, okay.
Definitely shouldn't be happening. But then I want to just mention it because now there's the whole thing with the government declassifying, right? UFOs, or now they're renaming it to UAPs. And now I feel like the next thing is that they're gonna try, like the Great Deception, they're gonna try and be like, oh, these are the people who created us, and then people are gonna falsely believe that, oh, these are the gods. And then, like I feel like what's pushed more to people, like, or what's like what they have more what's the word I'm looking for, like whatever they're just looking at, like more exposure to, they're just gonna believe it more. And obviously, like, creation doesn't have that much exposure. They keep pushing it down. And the new big thing, which is gonna be aliens, and everybody finds aliens. Oh, that's cool. I think they're just gonna believe that and run with it.
Well, we're talking about how they're discovering stuff, right?
Yeah.
Scripture also said there was different worlds.
Yeah.
Scripture also said that there's a different world, right? That spiritual, right? So the reason, my opinion, right? Maybe we could do more research on it, and this is why I like where we're going with this, because all this, people say, oh, you guys are just jumping around, but all this stuff is tied in together. Because all this alien movement stuff, like you said, it was unidentified flying objects first, because we thought those were flying saucers, or like spacecraft. But when they started observing them, a lot of these things shape shift.
Yeah.
So now they're not objects. What are they? This is why they became now
unexplained aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
This guy's laughing
Because now they're changing color, now they're changing shape. So now it's something's weird, because an object doesn't really do that. So what is this, a transformer? Those things are real?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? And then again, people say we're crazy. People say we're religious. People say, oh, you're just a Christian crazy man. But the scripture said the angels are angels of light, right? They masquerade as angels. So they look like one thing, but they're another. And then you look at these aerial phenomena, and these things are shape-shifting and trying to move. They're a sphere, then they're a cylinder. Like, what is this? They're light, then they don't have light. So it's funny to me how people are yelling for evidence. I hear it all the time. God is, you believe in God, then prove that he's real. What? And we spoke.
They try to put the burden of proof on you.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't never like that, because if God doesn't exist, you prove me that God doesn't exist. Prove how nothing, without any intelligence, created all this.
Yeah, they try to put the burden of proof on you, which makes the most sense. But you want me to run with nothing created everything, like.
That's plausible, but a God in the, a supreme being, right, outside this is not plausible.
Doesn't make sense.
And then they call us dumb, right? But we can't call them. Oh, they're intelligent. They're scientists. It's crazy.
Well, do you think that has to play with a little bit of inferiority? They have the fear of being inferior. Because I was listening to a message by Pastor G. Craig, and he said, the reason why we're all here, how Adam and Eve and how Satan got cast out of heaven is, he said the main root of everything was the feeling of inferiority, or feeling inferior. So that's why the devil felt inferior to God. So then that's why he tried to, rebel against him and try to get angels to come with him. And then the same thing he said, like in the Eve, which is a good perspective, because the Garden of Eden, he presented the idea to Eve and Adam of how they were inferior to God, but if they had this fruit, you would be just like him, and that enticed them.
Yeah,
which maybe that's now been installed or instilled into our nature, and we don't like that feeling of being inferior, so we don't want there to be a God.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Because again, I get it. An all-seeing, all-powerful, right, being that at the end I have to answer to.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes to answer to a supervisor, a manager, the cops, a judge. Everybody. If you ask people, yo, what do you hate the most? Oh man, in my job, they don't know what they're doing. I want to do. But imagine everybody does in their job what they wanted to do.
Be a zoo.
Yeah.
Everybody do it.
I mean, right now they're doing it in the streets.
Yep.
And it ain't working out.
Definitely not. But then they try to but then it's the same people that they get in a problem, they're going to call the cops because they need some type of authority to handle things. It's just, you got to pick one. You can't say, oh, forget all authority. Let's rebel against everything. We don't need a government. Let's make our own rules. But then when something pops off and somebody that you may be inferior to starts, punching down on you, and then you need somebody to come save you. But you can't have it both ways. You got to pick one.
And that speaks to us always looking and asking for a savior also.
Mm-hmm.
Like we say we don't need a Jesus, we don't need a God to be saved, but every moment you see, oh, I need like you said, I'm in the streets, I'm getting jumped or held at gunpoint, I need a savior.
Mm-hmm.
The savior is the cops.
Yeah.
Right? Have something wrong that I don't know what it is in my body. I need a savior. That's the doctor. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we've created a world around us and we substituted God and we've placed saviors in those places. So this is why the belief that there is no God continues to get bigger, because now we have these saviors that we run to, right? I'm bored. We spoke about it in the Hollywood and God, right? I'm bored and you guys laughed at me. Oh, well, you don't entertain me. Mm-hmm. So I'm bored. We run to an entertainer. I'm sick. We run to a doctor. Mm-hmm. I don't know why there's lights in the sky. We run to a scientist, right? And those are our saviors.
And then that's crazy, because then you start idolizing those people, which then you're idolizing false gods instead of worshiping the one true God. You're trying to make little small gods. Again, it's just pure rebellion, because it's in your nature. Like Mara was saying last episode, that people are gonna call out to God when you need them. Like when you're about to die or when you're hurt, like you're calling out to God, and it's like you're doing the most to try and not accept the fact that there is a God, but everything you're doing or everything that's in place in the system, there's just many little gods that you're reporting to, or that you're looking up to. The government, there needs to be a law that needs to be passed. You go look to the government. They're higher above you, but you don't think there's something high above everything else? It doesn't make sense.
Like the same thing we're talking about, the abortion argument, right?
Yeah.
Roe versus Wade, whether you believe in it or not, that it doesn't matter. The power of liberty was supposed to allow people to make the decision, right? Whether that's right or wrong. So forcing the government to just forcing it and doing it, this is what you have to do, that's not freedom. That's imprisonment.
Yeah.
What's happening now, whether people don't like it or not, is that they're not taking it away. They're leaving it up to the state, the people. And obviously you guys know that it's easier for the people in the state to manipulate the government elected in the state than the federal government that's so large, right? That should have never been like that anyway. But it's so large that you can't really move unless really majority of the country wants to do it. So even the law being passed to help people and give it into their hands, they don't want it.
Nope.
They fight against it. They rebel it. I don't want to be here. It's crazy.
Not to get even too political, but they're, like you're saying, that they're giving the government so much power, but then they're the same people that knock on the government. Because same thing with the guns. Now you want people just, this is a polarized view, but people just want guns taken off the street. But then you're the same people that are saying all cops are bad. So you can't. So now I can't defend myself, and the people who I'm calling to defend me are bad too. So What's going on here? Like,
But that's what I'm saying. That's the remember we talked about the fog of confusion, but that's what's happening.
that's crazy.
It's not only happening.
That's crazy.
And the reason we spoke about like the movies and stuff, we started slow, and it's gonna start escalating. And you're gonna start noticing that it's the human nature, or the human hand in everything that's messing everything up.
Yeah.
So like you said, the gun control. Yeah, there's a problem with guns. But if a bad guy has a gun, how do you stop him?
What a gun.
A good
Guy with a gun. That's why you call the cops. When we go to war, the enemy has guns, so we have an army
Yeah.
that has guns. So it doesn't make sense to. So these schools, and all these school shootings that are happening, right? A lot of this stuff, again, it goes back to the 50s, and you can't talk to older folks about this because they'll tell you, hey, once they start taking prayer off the schools, all this stuff started going downhill. When I was young, I was like, these people bugging. They over religion. Something's happening because this didn't happen like this. And it's not only the de-evolution, because I'm gonna say it, because if we're becoming right, if we're evolving, sorry, if we're evolving, we're supposed to be better.
Yeah.
But everybody is super depressed. Everybody's super stressed. Everybody's super psycho. I saw somebody on a video on a road rage. Somebody just cut him off, and the lady just pulled out a gun.
Oh yeah.
Shot one bullet to the car. The car went around, and then she shot another one. And there's a baby in the car.
Yeah, I seen that.
Like,
Crazy. People are just
they just
living.
cut you off, bro. Like, it's not that serious, and nobody got in an accident. No,
She
what?
was gonna throw her life away because she got
She's
cut off.
Crazy. I saw
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah. But like you said, everything's like, I don't know if people are noticing, but everything's just leading to chaos. Like, and it goes back to what we spoke about last episode about the law of entropy and the law of thermodynamics. Like everything's like going into chaos. Everything's unraveling. That's the universe is expanding and running into chaos, and that's what's happening here as well in real life. It's not just space, people think.
And that's good that you say that, because I have an article here of I'm not gonna read it all. It's just, there was a gentleman that was looking at Einstein's equations and describing the gravity, and the most natural dynamic of evolving of the universe or whatever. It says here that in Einstein's initial attempts to talk about this stuff, right, to make these equations and about the universe and how it is eternally existing and static, in 1931, Einstein visited the Hubble at Mount Wilson Observatory in California. And it says, as he observed the red shift evidence for himself, he later announced that denying evidence for the beginning was the greatest blunder of his scientific career.
Wow.
But again, the reason I'm telling you this is because you're never going to hear about that, because Einstein is a god.
That dude.
Technically. Remember how you guys were saying last podcast, oh, that guy's a monster. That guy's a beast, right?
Yeah.
But there was a moment, I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that guy's a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still
Right?
say that.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
God.
that came out a little bit and then vanished. But in my opinion, watching, I think that's what people really wanted to talk about. That's what, because I've been watching videos, right? Again, the algorithm hates me because I jump everywhere. Cars, God,
I'm the same way.
everything. Yeah, the algorithm hates me. But I was watching these celebrities that we always talk about, surprising regular people. And they're talking about him. Oh, I love him. I love him. I love him. Oh my God. They're and it's like they saw
Yeah.
He pops out and they don't know what to.
another human.
Geeking.
Yeah, they start geeking, twerking, and getting crazy,
They're
and
starstruck.
yeah, they're starstruck. But that's another human.
Nah, it's a god to them.
Same
False idol.
internal, same blood, breathing same air, walking same ground, right?
Yeah.
They really haven't shown nothing special, just that they can be in front of a camera and act.
They have skills. Everybody got skills,
Yeah,
but their skills is just you're exposed to it more. So then but again, that's our nature. We worship. We're supposed to be worshiping the one true God, but our rebellious nature counters that, and now we're worshiping false gods that we're making. And it affects them too, not just like
Yeah.
they're human, but like now they gotta battle that with themselves. And I guess some of them ask for it, some of them want to be famous, but it I know why it can hurt them as well, because now they're getting treated like a god, and then when they make a mistake, it's over because you were the chosen one, like nah, I'm just like you.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes with it. We can get into pastors and people in the church. Like the people in the church, they got to be careful because they also put the pastor on a high pedestal, and then he can do no wrong. Like, no, he's just human, just like you.
And then when he does wrong, they want to crucify him.
No, you couldn't have been from God. Like, what?
Yeah, because you made one mistake. But then if we make the mistake, come on, pastor, take it easy on me. I won't do it again. So it's interesting. Again, it all has to do with what's happening. Proof of God. Why people don't want to believe. They want to deny it, even though the proof is in front of them.
Yeah.
Right. It happens to even myself. Like I said, when I do something wrong, and I get pointed out, what's your first reaction?
Damn.
Us now, right? Damn. But in reality, it's nah. What? I ain't wrong. What you wrong? Look at you. And it's like I want to attack you now and show that I'm superior to you.
Yeah.
It's defensive, which is a natural something in us that we have to fight. And then this is why scripture says that, right? For us to understand, or us to see the truth, we have to renew our mind, right? We have to change our mind, because what's inside of us is not right.
Yeah. And also there's a verse that tells you to deny yourself, because you can't, not everything that you feel or everything that you want to do is right, because we have that sinful nature that we have to fight against as well.
I want to read a quote for you guys. This is a former astrologist from Cambridge University, Sir Fred Hoyle. He was talking about they were asking him about the fine tuner, right? What we talk about, right? That everything seems to be fine tuned. He said this, a common sense interpretation of the data suggests that a super intellect has monkeyed with the physics to make life possible.
Monkeys.
I like that term you used.
That's why I gave it to you. You're welcome. A little alley-oop for you.
The monkeys are at it again.
So you see that quote? He's saying that a super intellect has messed with the numbers so life can be possible. And these are
It's a super monkey.
that's
super monkey.
So again, this is not us, regular folk right here chilling and whatever, trying to act smart. These are smart people studying and spending their whole life studying this stuff, are saying the same thing that we've been saying, right? Somebody said that at the end of the day, like when scientists and astrologists and all these people get to the top of the mountain, they're just gonna show up and there's gonna be theists sitting there like, oh, what took you guys so long? We try to reinvent the wheel, and we try to go in circles, and we just had to see it for ourselves. I mean, you can see it for yourselves from the mountaintop. You ain't had to walk around the mountain, go through the trees. We were already up here. We told you. So that's what's interesting, that these and that's why I wanted to bring those quotes for these intelligent beings and like smart guys, and so you guys can see that even in their intellect, they're struggling with even the theories that they have brought up and have been concocted. The problem is that there's some people that, like you said, in denial, and that's the reason we brought it up, or that they get defensive. Some people have so hugged their theory that they don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Nah, hold up.
Egos. A lot of scientists got big egos. They don't want to let that go.
No, hold up. It has to be somewhere in here, bro. Like, nah, they can't be a god. This has to. Hold up. I gotta, let me flip it. So they'll flip that and they'll stay there for years just flipping and turning it, and it has to be here.
But then also, to play into that is, again, the reason why I bring up why people are making or putting people on pedestals and putting people higher than others and making them false gods or little gods, little g's, is that, like, for scientists, someone like Stephen Hawking, they're a god to them. Oh, he couldn't have been wrong. Like, there is no God. But correct me if I'm wrong, but what they're failing to realize that they're in their own nature of you putting this man on a pedestal, you're looking up to somebody. You're always going to look up to somebody. That's in your nature. So you're telling me that stops in humans? Like you're not gonna look up to a higher being? Like that's why like I'm like emphasizing that like that's in you. Like isn't that not proof? Like I feel like they just choose not to see it.
I think at this point, there's no argument anymore. I think it's just like the new age atheists are probably like, I just don't believe.
Yeah,
that's it.
But that's fine.
This is no
yeah, that's fine. It's just that you can't force me now and tell me that so this is the problem. You don't believe. That's your decision.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. That's your decision, right? But why are you trying to teach my kids this now? You see what I'm saying? Why are you trying to poison a small person that needs to be taught the right thing so they can succeed in life? Why are you trying to force them now to believe what you believe when the proof already shows that you're wrong? You just chosen to choose that side.
Yeah.
And remember, we were talking about the division, right? That division is kind of like born in us. This is why we pick tribes. This is why we pick political sides. We pick teams. We pick countries. Because we're by nature beings of division.
Yeah.
Right? So why are you trying to teach this and force this? Not only teach it, because if you would go to school and they say, you know what, we're going to teach about evolution, but we're also going to teach about, the creationism, right? A creator. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, but no.
But no, they just want to do evolution.
Push their agenda.
That's the problem.
Oh, so they can choose. We don't have to. Like, all right.
It's child
If
abuse.
you're gonna force them to learn about evolution, you can't be like, oh, we shouldn't force them to learn about what is it called, religion and all that stuff. You're forcing them to believe what you want to believe.
Yeah.
So you're doing the exact same thing that you don't want to be done, but it what's it called? It benefits you because it's something you agree on, which is dumb.
It's true.
It's hypocritical.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy with what he just said? That if you believe in atheism, that there's no God, and you don't have proof, guess what's that? It's religion.
Yeah.
And like Loki does in Thor, surprise. You know, when he pops out of nowhere and they're not expecting him.
They got too much faith.
I actually have a quote for that. His name is John Morrison. It says, "The truth is that science has not disproved the existence of God. Many eminent scientists that find that their work and their faith are complementary. Though science cannot give us the meaning of life, morality, love, or any of the other things that mean most to us, we can all learn a great deal about God's world through scientific discovery." Like, again, science hasn't disproven God either. So like you said, it's like a theory. You have your own religion now too.
Yeah.
So I want to read something too, and then I'll give you where I get it from in the end.
Okay.
It says, "Let not the wise man boast of his wisdom, or the strong man boast of his strength, or the rich man boast of his riches, but let him boast about this, that he understands and knows me, that I am the Lord, who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord." That's Jeremiah 9. So the reason you were talking about how people see the stars and the stars boast that they're stars.
Yeah.
Because you see it on Instagram, you see it on YouTube, bro, check it out. Look at it. Man, who was the guy who was rapping with a crown of thorns that was like $3 million or something?
That's Kendrick Lamar.
Hey man, I don't know what's wrong with Kendrick, but I feel like,
And I heard people talking about, again, I'm not going to get in a debate.
Yeah.
He's the best rapper ever on the planet. All right, bro. Okay.
he's good, but again,
I like him.
people making false gods. You know, they're gonna just another human, just like you. But some people are like that. I know some people that like are Kendrick Lamar stands, like he can do no wrong, kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like what he's doing is a little confusing because I don't know in his new album. I haven't heard it fully, but I think
Very confusing.
he was trying to say that he's not the savior.
Yeah, one of the songs.
Yeah, but then like
says, "I am not your savior."
I'm not your savior, but then you're like out with a crown of thorns, so it's like it's a little confusing.
Well, what I heard in the interview was that he's trying to like shed more light on Jesus.
Okay.
And he's trying to put Jesus on the forefront. But in that same breath, he raps in that album saying, "Oh, my choice, my body," or something like that.
Oh, I think he says that in this. I don't know.
He said something weird.
I haven't heard the whole thing.
He said, "My choice, my body." Jesus, something Jesus wouldn't like it. Something.
The clip when he was in the concert.
Judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge.
with that $3 million crown with blood dripping down on his thing.
Christ don't something. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I have to look it up.
We're gonna put the video.
Yeah,
so
we'll put the video.
We're gonna put the video so you can see it. But the point is that that's confusion, because if you read any type of scripture, if he knew Jesus who he was, your body's not your body.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the temple that he created
Here,
for you, and for you to use it for a purpose.
Yeah.
So you need to take care of it. So it's not, if you're with him, you're not supposed to do whatever you want with it. You're supposed to do his will with it.
Because like you're a living sacrifice for him now, because he bought you the ultimate price, which is Jesus dying on the cross.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because he was wearing the crown of thorns. So
and there's a lot of I don't want to get into the Hollywood versus God thing again, or because there's a lot of singers that don't want to talk about religion, but they come out on crosses and crown of thorns, sandals, and I don't understand.
Some people, I guess, want the shock factor or
I guess
controversy, and then they makes them more popular. I don't know.
I guess so, but
What was it called?
PR something.
PR stunts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
PR stunts, you guys say.
A lot of weird stuff going on, but
again, the complexity that we're looking at is immense in life, and I understand that there's a lot of emotions and feeling. You guys know that what we're going through as a society of things that we're feelings shouldn't change what's factual, is what I'm trying to say. Right? So I understand people don't care about the facts or about certain facts. Okay, but that doesn't stop making that those facts exist.
yeah.
Right? We were talking about that. Like if I'm a criminal, I probably want to do my criminal acts, and my facts is I'm never going to get caught. But that's not factual.
It's not fact.
Because as you're working every day to do what's wrong, there's another team that's working every day to do what's right. And you're
gonna get you.
More likely than not, they're gonna catch you.
Gonna get you.
They're gonna get you. But the reason that we say that, Martin and I, we've been talking about that a lot, is that everybody says that.
What?
Like, that's not gonna happen to me. That's not, it's never.
Everybody's the exception.
I'm different.
Everybody's the exception.
Everybody's the exception.
Until guess what happens?
I know, but you're the rule. You are the rule.
This is why they wrote the rule for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's gonna happen.
You're the prime example, actually.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sorry.
The protein too. We never spoke about that, but Dr. Stephen Myers talks about it too. I think in Signature of the Cell, he talks about how proteins they fold into like these molecular machines that again, I'm not a scientist, but it's crazy how they zoom in with these microscopes, and there's like literally these little machines that are constructing inside these cells. I guess they read the instructions that are there, and they start just putting things together.
That's crazy. But then also, like, bringing that up, the Bible even said before all this scientific stuff that the things that are seen are made. I'm paraphrasing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the things that are seen are made from things that are unseen.
Yep.
And and obviously science is now like we said before, science is proving a lot of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And again, people still find ways to discredit it, or I don't know. It's just that rebellious nature. They just don't want to listen to it.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
sometimes.
Absolutely. At the point of that we're talking about, and and we're adding all this other stuff because everything's going to intertwine, is that at one point we all, as a humanity, if we're going to want to live, because right now everybody's trying to live, right? Tesla's trying to build battery, electric cars. We're trying to have solar power. We're trying to not, some people say it's too late. Some people say it's not. Nobody knows what's happening. The point is that it's not going to fix itself if we don't all say, hey, hold up. Okay, let's really talk about what the proof is here. Right? Instead of like, that's my truth, not yours. It's not, you could have your truth, I could have mine. No, there's the truth. And we need to follow it because we're going to unravel this whole planet.
Yep.
And we're living on it. Yeah, we're going to go to Mars.
But then again, like everything, like you said, it's in us to have division, right? We were reading that verse Tuesday about the Psalm 86, I think, of David asking God to give him an undivided heart, which insinuates that his heart is already divided, right? And everything around us is encouraging division and polarized views, like red or blue, right or left, like Republican, Democrat, like they're not leaving room for middle ground, and they want people to fight, you know, to have these opposing
you're
views.
either here or there.
Yeah, like everything's causing division, and division is gonna cause chaos, and then out of chaos, order. Right? That's one of the quotes from, I think it was Freemasons, or like that's like their creed.
Dr. Stephen Strange, the Illuminati will see you now.
The Illuminati will see you now. But yeah, like out of chaos, order. I guess, you know, if you want to get into that. You know, the higher elites, the people in power that you don't see.
The Illuminati.
They want all this chaos, so then, which makes sense because you got, again, not to get too political, but you got people trying to defund the police, and but those same people don't want you to have guns, and it's already causing chaos. It's bound to happen. So
that's so crazy.
It again, and then like what Martin said, when all this chaos is happening and everything's out of control, our innate nature is to call out to God, but a lot of us now are denying God, so we're gonna call out to the government. Oh, now you gotta take control, and then that's when martial law comes, and then that's when this new world order is gonna come in, and then.
So this is, and it's good that you're bringing this stuff up, but the reason that I'm talking and we're talking about around this is because a lot of the people that don't believe in God, they say that the reason that God doesn't exist is because there's evil, when that's the reason that it shows that God exists.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Evil without good.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but evil is deviating from God's perfect will. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, because this is the problem.
Oh wait, there's no God.
The super monkeys will.
The super monkeys. That's only one group. Somebody might say the super fishes or
the super turtle, the world turtle.
Yeah, there you go.
The super world turtle. You guys forgot about those, but no. Again, the reason because God allowed it, people try to. I've noticed that too. That they try to give attributes, or they try to give credit for God for bad, but they never give credit for God for good.
Never.
And we know that we're taught that everything that is good comes from Him, right? We understand that, like you said, Lucifer, Satan, right? He chose to that path. He chose to rebel. He chose, I don't want to be here no more. God allowed it. And then because of his rebellions and his evil, then things unraveled, right? So when we were in Neanderthals, if that was a thing, or monkeys or whatever, right? Nobody ever created anything. We spoke about this. Nobody created anything with wood or with metal, right? That much. It was just tree stuff. Once we started creating stuff with metal, that we found metal, then rust appeared, right? It never existed till we decided it, right? So it's a cause and effect.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when evil is chosen. That's the effect. It's going to continue to trickle down.
I think the problem with humans in general is just like we like to point out the negatives and never acknowledge the good, you know. Even us, like, it's easy to get lost in all the chaos that's going around us. Like, oh, I had a bad day, I forgot my keys at work, my coffee wasn't laying sweet, they messed up my coffee. But it's like, if you want to blame God for all the bad, attribute the good to Him. They like to blame everything on God, but then when everything goes right, oh, the universe loves me.
Thank you, universe.
Yeah, thank you, universe. Oh, Mother Nature. Oh my God.
I must be aligned with my astrology sign this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. But it's easier. It's easier to blame.
It's much easier to blame God than say He doesn't exist, and then attribute all the good stuff that happens to us to the universe.
Again, it's people picking and choosing. Like, they're not consistent.
Yeah.
Not consistent at all.
Which is interesting because, like he said, did the universe give itself the laws that it governs? Did it put itself in it didn't. We already know something outside. Super, like Sir Fred Hoyle said, right? We're noticing that the numbers are being monkeyed around. They're being manipulated so we can live.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to get involved in the numbers because I'm not a mathematician or whatever, but I know that, you know, for us to be here and be alive is like 10 to the 30th thousand with a whole bunch of 18 zeros behind it. Some crazy impossibility like that.
It's impossible. Scientifically impossible.
It's scientifically impossible. It's impossible. And then they're telling me that we didn't only hit the lottery once. We hit the lottery a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're talking about life, but everything that needs to sustain life needs to also
be in existence.
That's Has to work together.
Needs to exist. Water, air, the atmosphere, the planets.
We missed one and we're done.
So we hit the lottery.
We got
Oh,
18 times.
billion times.
The jackpot just kept going.
You're walking into the casino. Ching, ching, ching.
That's crazy, bro. Again,
But nothing did that.
nothing that I don't have enough faith to be an atheist.
Yeah.
Now you understand why he says that, right?
Yeah.
Now you understand because if the more you start thinking and the more you start pondering on that stuff, you're like, wait a minute, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense.
he said, I'm sorry. I'm
It
sorry.
doesn't make sense at all. It's like, no, you're not gonna fool me. I'm sorry. You get somebody else.
All I know is
Yeah.
people need to be honest. Hey, I don't want to believe in God because I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I respect that.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Do your
know?
thing. Do you.
But then, but don't, try to impose your
That's the problem.
ignorance onto me. Because it's like, are you not listening to yourself?
Well,
Don't make me try to feel stupid from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
well, misery loves company. So I gotta trick you somehow. We've been talking about it from before. It's an agenda. I want you to be in this agenda with me, but you don't want to choose it. So now I gotta force you.
but then that goes into the whole thing with God. Like, oh, why didn't God just make us love Him, and then we wouldn't have to go through all this? But then
Then you have no free will.
you have no free will, and
You're a robot. You
Yeah.
can't do nothing.
Yeah.
then you're mad at Him because He made you love Him. Oh, what if I didn't want to love God?
Well, here we are.
Like-
There you go.
I've seen a clip of like someone.
win.
You can't win.
You can't.
I've seen someone on TikTok who was like, I think somebody asked him like, oh, do you like your life, or like, are you happy? And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, why not? He's like, oh, because I'm alive.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, like I didn't give consent for me to be born.
Want your mom to get an abortion?
Honestly, yeah, it would have been great.
What?
Life isn't the best, man, but
Wait. You wish your mom got an abortion?
yeah, honestly, yeah, because like I didn't consent to be born. I wish if I had a choice, it would have been great. But the beauty is, my mom had a choice. She had a
So
choice.
you would have chosen to not be born?
Yeah, 100%.
Silence.
I was like, what? And he was serious. I know a lot of people be joking, but he was serious. I'll see if I can find a clip, but like people,
Yeah, but he doesn't give consent for his eyelids to close, or his heart to beat,
like,
or his internals to fight disease.
is mind
I don't know.
Hold on. I got a virus, but hold on. Hey body, don't cure it. Like,
I didn't give you consent to cure it yet. Like,
yeah, like you don't give consent to nothing.
and even I've seen like even people like take it to the extreme. It's like, oh, some people are scared. Like some people who are CPR trained, and then like the person wakes up after giving them CPR. Oh, I didn't give you consent to do all that. Like, what if I wanted to die? Like,
So then, I'm not gonna say that, but
you gonna let them die? So that's it. It's over.
no, because like if you don't want nobody to save you, if you don't want to be alive, then
Let you
That's
die.
suicide,
Well,
by
okay,
the
what
way.
is it?
But
Martin, you saved me, and I wanted to die. I hate you now. You're a
What?
bad person.
Yeah,
Actually,
me?
but
I'm a
that's
bad
your
person.
business.
you're
we-
a horrible person.
But remember, we do
I'll
good.
help you.
We do good no matter what.
Yeah, of course.
No, don't worry.
We got to do
I'll
good
help
no
you.
matter what. Because it's going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. Like people in their mindset and in their belief, they don't understand what's good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So they can't make that decision. I guarantee you, their family is like, "Oh, thank you, bro, for saving
Yeah,
him.
thank you.
Thank you. We want him around." Oh, but I don't want to live. You're not thinking rationally, bro. You're not using your
Selfish.
brain. Yeah.
Selfish.
That's
That's
very selfish.
You want to say something? No? Okay. No, I was going to say, like, again, that's like, it's just against the Bible. Everything. Like, you're being selfish. And, the Bible tells you to love yourself and then it tells you to love your neighbors, and it tells you to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And there comes to a point where you have to find the balance in between loving yourself and loving your neighbor, right?
Mhm.
Because you're supposed to live your life as a living sacrifice, not only to God but the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just, again, the reason I bring this up is because you have that selfish mentality of like, oh, I don't want to live and you're only thinking about yourself, but you're not thinking about the people around you, your family. Like if you kill yourself, it's over for you, but it's not over for them. Now they gotta live with that. Now they have guilt. Like, damn, maybe I could have done something, because now maybe I would have saved them. Maybe I did something wrong, and now you've done more damage just because you wanted to be selfish.
You just moved your burden.
Yeah.
The burden that you carry, the pain that you carry, you just moved it
Just
somewhere
move
else.
it to the loved ones.
It doesn't go away.
But I think we proved that's incorrect anyway. Like, oh, I'm gonna think of myself, but we're social beings, right?
Yeah.
We need to socialize. We need other people.
Yeah.
So why am I thinking about myself? Like,
community.
if I make $10 billion and I'm by myself, you guys already know that's unhappiness.
Yeah.
You got all the money in the world, you could buy whatever you want, but you're unhappy. Why? Because you need somebody to share with. This is why they do parties. This is why they invite other people. This is why they look for female companionship or friends or family, because you can't be by yourself. So I don't know where this outside of, I don't know if I'm using the right word, but this not natural thing is becoming normal. We're talking about the unnatural stuff.
Okay.
Right? We talk about how people want to think about themselves, be by themselves, but that's not natural. Right? We're meant to be together.
Yeah.
That's why the undivision. So the reason I'm bringing in the circle and talk about the aliens, why are you bringing the aliens back up? Because peep this, right? The aliens do something that's unnatural.
Yeah.
Right? Is that they fly at 1,000, 2,000 miles an hour, and they make right angles.
Yeah.
They pop in and out.
Speed of sound. Speed of light.
They vanish.
Yeah.
That's unnatural. Oh, well, look at that. Right? Nobody thinks twice about it.
Fascinating.
They're fascinated. God does it. Oh, those are fairy tales. This light does it in the sky that we don't know what it is. Oh, you think that they're from another planet. Yo, they got sophisticated technology. God does it. No. That guy named Jesus? No, that's fake, bro. That's just fairy tales.
But again, like, they're taking what they see now in nature for granted. So once they see something, like, again, they don't know that everything that they're seeing right now is the greatest miracle ever.
Yeah.
They don't realize that. So when they see a flying light changing colors in the sky, it's like, whoa. But like, bro, like, you're living on Earth in the perfect planet. You can breathe. You have water. Like, but that's just as granted for them.
Yeah.
Bro, we hit the lottery like 10,000 times. Like, example, or 10 million times.
The odds were crazy.
Yeah, that's the greatest miracle.
It's different now because there's no struggle. Everybody gets things given. So when things get given to you, you don't really expect new things or like crazy things to happen because you already have everything. Like, oh, I have the new phone, I have a new car, I got the new shoes. So
it's less valuable.
What's a little something extra that's new? It's nothing. It's just something that I will see or will come to me later. It's not surprising.
Yeah, they don't care about it.
Yeah, man, everyday life is monotonous.
Monotonous.
I was gonna say, back to the point where what's it called? We were talking about when you save somebody.
Oh yeah.
And they're upset at you.
Yeah.
That just reminded me of that part in The Incredibles, where the guy, where Mr. Incredible saved the guy. He jumped out of a building.
Oh, I
saved him, broke all his bones, and then he got tight and he sued him. He was like, "What?
No way."
I'll put that clip in. I know what you're talking about too.
He's like, "Why did you save me or whatever? I was trying to die or something."
Yeah, like,
and he broke all my bones, and he sued him and won.
He won?
Yeah.
No way.
He lost his life.
That's crazy.
Mr. Incredible lost his life.
In a stunning turn of events, a superhero is being sued for saving someone who apparently didn't want to be saved. The plaintiff, Oliver Sansweet, who was foiled in his attempted suicide by Mr. Incredible, has filed suit against the famed superhero in Superior Court.
Mr. Sansweet didn't ask to be saved. Mr. Sansweet didn't want to be saved. And the injury received from Mr. Incredible's actions, so-called, causes him daily pain.
Hey, I saved your life!
You didn't save my life, you ruined my death. That's what you did.
Listen,
My client has no
further comment at this time.
5 days later, another suit was filed by the victims of the L train accident. Incredible's court losses cost the government millions and opened the floodgates for dozens of superhero lawsuits the world over.
It is time for their secret identity to become their only identity. Time for them to join us or go away.
Under tremendous public pressure and the crushing financial burden of an ever-mounting series of lawsuits, the government quietly initiated the Superhero Relocation Program. The supers would be granted amnesty from responsibility for past actions in exchange for the promise to never again resume hero work. Where are they now? They are living among us, average citizens, average heroes, quietly and anonymously continuing to make the world a better place.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's like the whole thing, right?
That's the whole thing.
He was like an office
He was-
job. That's crazy, bro.
He was a god to these people. And one lawsuit, bro.
Wow.
He saved the wrong guy.
That's sad.
That's crazy. Saving the wrong guy.
That's crazy. Save the wrong guy.
Saved the wrong
It's
guy.
tough.
And, you know, the entire narrative of superheroes at the time. And in the movie, I mean. It just completely changed. Like, nah, we got to keep these guys in check.
That's crazy.
Wow.
You already got me thinking when saying,
Yeah.
oh, he saved the wrong guy.
Say the wrong
That's
guy.
crazy.
Wow,
That's-
that's not even a concept.
But like what?
Everyone should be saved.
But what Ralph was talking about is interesting too, because we were talking about it at when we were at work probably. Everybody loves the iPhones. I'm not gonna bash them because then I'm gonna get the iPhone army to cancel me. But at the same breath, we're fighting save the earth. And I don't know if you guys know those those AirPods, right? We were talking about them. You really can't open them to change the battery or whatever the case may be. Like you got to break them apart. So what happens is that when those AirPods go bad, people chuck them and they buy new ones. Not because they want to, because when they go to Apple be like, oh, nah, you know, that's
Can't
too
fix
expensive
that,
to fix it. Might as well get a new one. But then we got a landfill full of lithium batteries and those little AirPods and those little plastic things just sitting there.
Yep.
And then you ask anybody with an iPhone, not you guys, because you guys are trying to think different. But and out there, oh yeah, I'm trying to be green. I got a Tesla, bro. They're chucking iPhones in the landfill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and it's not. It's plastic. It's not going to.
Yeah.
Again,
Just vanish.
They're just trying to stand for something, but like, again, a place of the point and the part of that, like they're not really thinking.
They
right?
want to they want to act like an activist.
Like they have people
They
think
not really-
for them.
They're not really the Black Panthers, man. They're not really out there.
Like, they're not getting out there and putting in the work.
Come on, man.
Someone on TV told them, "Yo, look, Teslas are green. Don't start your car up in the driveway, and you know the Earth will be better if everybody just does that, you know." And then they're like, "Okay," but you listen to that on an iPhone, and the people who are telling you that are flying private jet, they have private jets.
I just saw today, before we started this, I saw that Taylor Swift
No way.
has put out more CO2 than like anyone would for like the next like 500 years.
No way.
I have to find it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and then I bet
Yo.
Taylor Swift would be the same person telling you to go green on her Instagram story. Like, it's all for show. It's all for show.
But
It really
but
is.
this is the reason I'm bringing this up, and it's good that you guys keep going down the rabbit hole, is because of that. Is because if they tell you there's no God, then they could continue doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it right
Go.
here. Taylor Swift has emitted more CO2 this year than an average U.S. American does within 550 years.
No way.
And more than a person from India in over 4,300 years.
That is
Wow.
crazy.
Taylor Swift created more carbon emissions than other celebrities at 8,293 tons.
Wow.
TONNES.
Wow.
Racking up a total of 170 flights on her private jet since January.
Wow.
Wow.
22,923 minutes in the air, or 15.9 days.
Wow.
What is
But
this?
but me not starting up my car in the driveway is gonna save the earth, guys.
Taylor's average flight time is 80 minutes with an average of 139.36 miles per flight.
Wow.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's not
Again.
cool, brother.
The agenda that they're pushing.
That's definitely not cool.
It's all connected. That's unbelievable.
She's killing us. She's killing us.
She's killing us.
Bro,
He
you know what
said
that
she's
is?
killing us.
Taylor Swift must be held accountable.
More than the average American for 550 years.
That's unbelievable.
No one here will be alive for 550 years.
Bro,
We won't no one be alive for half of that. And she's already, just this year alone, and the year's not done. We're 7 months in, and she's already emitted more than the average American for like 5 generations.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
That's crazy.
That's super insane.
But you gotta get a Tesla.
But that's the problem.
You better buy me a Tesla.
So the reason that we start becoming different is because the people who believe God exists start, acting and living like He does. The people who don't, they don't care.
Just walk around aimlessly.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on my private jet.
Bueno.
I don't care. And the issue is that it's becoming to a point. I don't want to call people out, even though we've been using people's names, and it's not to defame them or whatever. It's just to show you proof, and so people go open your eyes.
Real life. It's
Yeah,
like a real life example.
it's because it's we can no longer just give you speculation or somebody's doing it. No, now we have to point it out because you're watching these people, and then you're still not believing in something. I'm with Jesus.
I am too.
All I want you to do is to pick a side. That's it. Stop trying to act like you're good. Stop trying to act like you're in the right. You have the right things, or you have the right ideas. Just pick a side. Be like, look, you know what? I don't believe in God, so everything I'm doing is for myself. It's bad. I don't care about the world. I don't care about people. There's no God. Do that way. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to say that you're religious. Don't try to say that you're spiritual, because that's the thing now. Everybody's spiritual. Everybody's spiritual. Nobody wants to come to church because they could be in church in the house. Right, they're spiritual in the house.
In church, I just talk to God by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you read the Bible, He told you to be in communion with people who are like-minded like you, and not.
Yeah, but I don't do nothing in my life that's by myself. Like in a party, I'm with people. When I go to the movies, I'm with people. But for church, I want to be by myself. And again, the reason for this meeting and for these conversations is so we can start thinking. Like, what am I saying?
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're social creatures. Everything that you do is in community, but when it comes to God, again, and I think we spoke about this before, it comes to a point where you don't want that accountability, because you don't want the God of the Bible. You want to make your own God, and if no one's there to tell you, hey, that's not what's in the Bible, or hey, that's wrong, then you have your own God, and you're good. Oh, that's why everyone says, oh, I'm good with God, but you don't go to church. Oh, I'm good with God because He knows I be talking to Him, and He knows what I want, and He knows my heart, and He knows. But then again, like, okay, cool, but don't. And then that's why we have such a bad light on Christianity now, because everyone's a Christian. But I saw a clip. I think it was Sneeko. You've seen Sneeko?
Yeah.
He was talking about like, everybody's a Christian now, but they don't follow it. Like they do random. Me curse a little bit. They do random stuff. Like like. You're not really following what it is. So then now everyone's looking at this religion like, oh, Christians be doing that, like, oh, well, and then they like try to use that as, oh, that's not a real like religion, like that's not valid. Everyone's just doing what they want. Everybody has different beliefs, and he brought up a point that everybody, like, they're picking and choosing what to believe in, like in the Bible. I don't really agree with that, and that's the problem with that I can find with middle ground, is that usually people who are middle ground, they pick and choose, right, what's good from each like, let's say they pick and choose what's good from Democrats, they pick and choose what's good from Republicans, and then they try to pick and choose what they want from the Bible, and that's where that line has to be drawn, because you can't pick and choose from the Bible. You have to take it as a whole. Like, this is the truth. If you don't agree with that, then
you take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. You can't just take that and be like, oh, I believe some stuff in the Bible, and then you're not really a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to reevaluate your thoughts.
But this is what we were talking about before, and you said it right. Our heart is divided.
Yeah.
In the United States, there's like 200 denominations of Christianity only in the United States. In the world wide, again, don't quote me on the numbers, I could be wrong, but I know I read an article about that, and that I think those were the numbers. And then in the world is like 45,000 denominations. That's bonkers.
That's unbelievable.
Bonkers. And it's because, everybody's, like you said, is picking and choosing, because now they don't only want to shape their life about themselves. Now they want to even change God. There's people that believe that they're going to go to heaven or go to where God is and demand Him or tell Him, I'm good. I could come in now into His house.
Oh. But it's like what you said on Tuesday. It's scary when that's one of the scary. I think Ruslan made a video, like, one of the scariest verses in the Bible is that when you go up to Him, He's like, Depart from me, evildoer. You know, I never knew you.
Yeah,
That's scary because a lot of people, again, like we said, they're making their own version of God, and then they think, you know, oh, I did this in your name, I casted out demons in your name, like the Bible says, but he never knew you. He never had a relationship with him. He never knew you, and that's why, again, it's important to have a relationship with the God of the Bible, because why would he say that in the verse? I never knew you. You never talked to him. You never had a real relationship because you made your own God in your head.
Yep. We do that with everything. It's crazy, right? We do that with everything. We try to eliminate what's good, and we try to make our own good. So being honest here, again, this is not like a therapist session or whatever, but when, as humans, when we tend to lie, the reason we tend to lie is because we don't want to be seen or portrayed as we're bad.
Yeah.
So I gotta lie, and then it turns into one little lie. But then to cover up that lie, I have to do another lie. And it happens to all of us. We're not, free from it.
We're all human.
This is why God wants us to, repent and change our mind and do what's right. But what I'm trying to tell you is that what you said.
Yeah.
We're divided.
Yeah.
We're so divided that even something that's portrayed and given to us, let's say the word of God, nobody believes in God, but everybody believes in a scientist. He foretold. Einstein foretold that. What's my man's name? The guy who Nostradamus or whatever. Nostradamus. Bro, he predicted 9/11. He predicted, bro.
That's impressive.
The Earth free floats in space. Job 26:7. Thousands of years ago. No, that does. They got lucky. And you guys know we have like a thing that there's like over 101 scientific facts and foreknowledge found in the scripture. And you keep going down the list. And no, you got lucky. No. But then this guy gets one thing right, or two or three, 4 or 5 the most. And that guy's a god. Let's see when Nostradamus said about the Yankees. Did he say it in his prophet? You see what I'm saying? Like, the reason I'm bringing this up is because proof of God. Oh, I don't believe in God, but you're placing other gods in that space that's empty now.
Yep.
And this is why we start becoming lesser humans, right? Lesser society, because we're unraveling, like you said. But it's because we're placing in places that are not supposed to be, things that are not supposed to be, right? God's supposed to be there. Yep. They say the argument, what is the argument of the God of the gaps or whatever that was. Well, we don't understand, we put God in it. Yeah. And we already said it. When you guys don't understand, you put time in it. Yeah, so time is your God. Evolution is your God. Charles Darwin is your God. Yep. Secularism is your God. Yep. My feelings is my God. And that's what I'm saying. That's what scripture has always told us, that you cannot serve two masters. You will hate one and serve the other. Yep. That's it. There's two choices. All these other choices that people are putting in to or whatever, so you could start questioning, is there a God, or questioning what's good and bad. It's not really. It's, we saw a movie. What was it called? That movie we saw on Sunday.
The Gray Man?
Yeah, you see, The Gray Man.
That's a good movie.
You know why they call him the Gray Man? Because he's
not black or white.
He operates in the gray.
In the gray area.
We call that, in the last podcast, I call that the fog of confusion, because fog is gray.
Yeah.
So it's in the middle where we can't choose which side it is, and then I don't know. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to do. So then they could pull you closer to the black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not to the light, to the dark.
Yeah, because if you're in the gray, you can't see. In the light, you can see. In the darkness, you can't see. And in the gray, you still can't see. It's blurry. You can't see.
Yeah.
So you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah. Whatever's louder.
Yeah.
And then what color are the aliens?
Gray.
Gray aliens.
Boy. Again.
Interesting.
I don't think... Again, I don't want to make you guys go nuts, but there's things that are placed for a reason, and at first glance, you don't notice them until you start. People think that the Bible is separate books, right?
Yeah.
People think that life is separate events.
Yeah.
But everything
is
intertwined and goes to take you to a certain spot. So like you said, like we just said, right? Aliens they're called the grays. Oh, but there's reptilian ones. Yeah. But majority of the ones that people seen are the grays.
Yeah, the gray with the big black eyes.
That's how, if you talk to anybody about aliens and UFOs, that's what they're going to talk about. Oh, the grays with the black. Why are they gray?
Interesting. They operate in the gray area.
Yeah. They're not white nor
crazy.
they're not light nor darkness, right?
Which is interesting because again, if we run with what I believe in, I don't know if you share the same, that these aliens are the fallen angels, then they do operate in the gray because then they'll be both in the dimensional world where we can't see spiritually, and then that's when we see the UFOs, the UAPs in the sky, when we see them physically. So now they're in that dimension. So then they operate in the gray area because they do both.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
And the problem is when you hear people talking about, well, these UFOs or these aliens, you know, where do they go when you don't see them? Where do they go? Are they dead? Are they alive? Or maybe they pop in and out of this dimension or this reality that we call, because right now, if you were talking about the Garden of Eden, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to find where that is. Nobody could find it. Why can't nobody find it? Why is there's no mark of it? Unless God created this because of the fall, which is what, because obviously, and we're going to get to, again, the proof of God that I want to give to you a little bit now is because God, in the scripture says that God has placed eternity in the heart of men. And the reason I say that is because when you guys think about death, you can't comprehend it, right? It's impossible. Like, you know it exists, but it's scary.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, right? People say there's no afterlife. There's reincarnation. That sounds more soothing because that means I could come back.
Yeah.
Respawn.
I hate that.
I could respawn like a video game, right? But the proof of God is another thing that the scripture says, because now he put eternity in your heart, meaning that you were meant to live forever. This is why you fear death, because you were never meant to die.
That's tough.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and this is why the only belief system that tells you you're going to have eternal life, not respawn in the same dimension. There's a different dimension where time doesn't exist, right? Where the creator pushed everything into this dimension for a reason. Again, we know why. He's saying that's where I live, and you're going to come back to where you were created. And this is why I wanted to bring that up, because that's another proof of God, our fear of death, right? Because it's in the scripture, it calls it eternity.
Yeah.
The sense of eternity God has placed in our hearts.
Wow. That's crazy. I never thought of it like that.
And if I'm making it up, then why is everybody trying to look younger? Why are they trying to find things so we don't die, take disease away, so we can live forever here? But God is like, no, you don't want to live forever here. This is fallen. This is broken. This was created by a decision. I want to bring you back here because this is where it's at.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's what's another proof of God inside, besides the morals, because everybody knows what's right and wrong. Everybody says that, you know.
We already debunked that morality is a social construct. Because if we all agree that rape is good, rape is still bad. Like, it doesn't matter if we all agree to it. We innately know it's bad. That's already been debunked.
Well, we should have never went to war with Hitler, because it's his truth versus our truth.
Yeah, everybody over there thought it was cool. Well, who am I to tell you? If there's no God, who am I to tell you that is not cool? Right? Like, if there's no morality, or there's no one who gave me that morality.
People who just say that are just like, they're just talking.
Like, who are you?
They're just talking.
Who are you to say Hitler was wrong? Like,
because at the end of the day, because
he's sighing.
They gonna say, who am I to say this, that, and the third? This is wrong. This is right. Whatever. Oh, the way I grew up. If someone in Pakistan is killing people, that's all he knows. Well,
doesn't make it right.
If I shot your mom, would you be upset? Yes, I did the wrong. I did the wrong thing.
Yeah, anywhere, Pakistan, Afghanistan,
it doesn't
America.
matter where you come from. We all know right from wrong. There's some people that are twisted in the head and think that the wrong is right and the right is wrong, but that does not change the fact that within us we know right and wrong because of God.
Yeah, you're right.
Because just like their argument says, who am I to say? Exactly.
Yeah.
Who are we to say? We're no one to say that.
Nobody.
Because I can say lying is bad and then turn around and lie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't make sense. Like,
they just defeat their own argument.
Yeah, because you're contradictory now. You're a walking contradiction. So obviously morality doesn't come from you, because if you were moral and you were just, you would stay consistent.
Yeah.
But it's not from us.
But
it's from our parents.
It's more hard work to do.
Where they get it from? Where they get it from?
He's funny, bro.
And where they get it from?
That's a funny guy.
You just.
It's more hard work to do, though, to stay consistent and stay right?
Of course, it's hard work.
It's hard work.
Nobody wants to do the hard work.
Of course not. Why would you want to do that?
Definitely, like Ralph was saying, nobody wants to do the hard work. It's easy. Once it comes easy to you, that's less appreciative.
He showed me a picture that was amazingly true. What was it? The guy was saying, "Oh, I want a new job that I work from 7 o'clock to 7:05, but I want to make $2,000
A minute.
a minute, right?
$2,000
a minute.
Crazy.
Perfect world.
That's right. That's amazing.
So I'm not asking for anything too much.
Yeah.
But then that
$2,000 a minute for 5 minutes.
that takes the value away from everything, though. Again,
That's another topic.
not to bring up Andrew Tate again.
We gotta make that a
Who is this
episode.
guy?
Andrew Tate is okay. He's like a
I told you, he's the like a super radical red pill alpha. Alpha man.
Oh, okay.
He's like this new guy that everyone love him because he just says whatever he thinks. He doesn't care what nobody says, and he's cool. He says, again, take the good and bad. He says some good things and he says some crazy things.
Very crazy things.
But it's been proven that like a lot of the crazy things he says is for character. Like he's not really serious. Like he does that for like attention and views. Like
Entertainment.
yeah. It's entertainment. But
course.
he did say Aiden asked him like, yo, Top G or whatever he calls him. He's like, yo, what's the quickest way, like the fastest way?
How do I get like a 6-pack quick? What's the fastest way to get a 6-pack?
Why does it have to be quick? Why does it have to be easy? Why do you think life is all quick and easy? Why can't it be hard and difficult? Why can't you suffer? Because suffering is what gives it value. If everyone had a 6-pack and it was quick and easy, then it wouldn't be valuable, would it? If everyone walked around with a 6-pack and they got it easily, then no one would give it. The whole point is that it's difficult to get. Value is linked to difficulty. If you want something that is valuable, you need something which is difficult to obtain. The fact that you just said you wanted it quick and easily shows that your whole mental model is
Get a 6-pack. And he's like, well, why does it have to be quick? Why can't you suffer? Like if it was quick and easy, everybody would have a 6-pack and it wouldn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good to have. You wouldn't be proud of it because anybody could have it. Like sometimes you need to work for it. You need to, enjoy that process and suffer a little bit to get what you want. Because if everything, like Ralph said, if everything's just given to you, there's no value in it. You don't appreciate it, which I thought was pretty good. He said that, even though he's a little crazy.
Yeah, he's very crazy.
But again, the truth is going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
And the scripture said even rocks will speak. If the people of God don't want to do the right thing, and even rocks will do it.
Yeah.
But I want to show you another proof. We spoke about the little proofs of God. I'm going to tell you about perfection.
Okay.
When I was growing up, everybody hated church because you want me to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's trying to have the perfect body. Everybody wants the perfect job. Everybody wants the perfect wife, the perfect husband, the perfect house, the perfect car. What happened? What happened? So you see, again, it goes back to God created us to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's instilled in us. But when it comes to God and church, they just want me to be perfect. It's too much. I can't live it. I can't handle it. I can't do it. But I want the perfect body. I want the perfect house. I want the perfect bathroom. I want the perfect shoes. I want the perfect clothes. I want everything's perfect except what has to do with God.
And again, it's interesting that you bring that up because that happens, like you said, they want the perfect husband, they want the perfect wife. And then that's why a lot of me and Martin were having a conversation with his cousin, like a lot of the marriages are failing now, like 50% divorce rate. And the reason why I think it's failing because they took God out of marriage. They made it a legal proceeding, a legal ritual, but it was supposed to be a vow under God that you're making, that you will choose to love this person every day. That's what marriage is. You're becoming one, and until death do you part, like you through the ups and downs. Like marriage is basically confirming that there is no perfection, and you have to love your partner and work through it. But again, like you said, everybody wants the perfect body. Everybody wants the perfect hair, the perfect whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't work like that.
Everything in life is a compromise or a sacrifice, but we don't want to sacrifice or compromise anymore. Because why would I want to do that? If I can just get it the easy way, then just let it get the easy way.
No cap.
They don't want to put in work.
It's true though. It's true because then if let's say you get it easy,
it's a good episode.
But then somebody wants what you have, then that person makes them work. No, you got to work for this, but you ain't work for it.
Hey man, don't get me started.
That's crazy, brother.
That's a whole episode in itself, man.
Oh man,
talking about not wanting to work.
Not wanting to work. That's a whole different thing.
Hey, man, that's a whole different topic.
That's another topic, right? We again we intertwine it with all this stuff, but
that's crazy.
Proof of God,
Yeah.
right? Because they say, oh, God can't exist because there's evil, but guess what? Surprise, there's love, right? There's love. So what's up with that? And even that's trying to be twisted now.
Oh, well, that's a human. You know, they're always
They stuck at the drive-thru looking at the menu. They all day.
they just
He said they stick to the menu all
Yeah,
day.
bro. It's like they don't know what they talk about. They just want to, again, like I said earlier, they just want to put the bad. They want
they want to give away the bad, but then the good. Oh, that comes from humans. You know,
Yeah.
that's just human love. That's basic human nature.
Yeah.
Okay, but the evil comes from God. Okay,
That's
Thanks.
interesting.
right.
When love, when God is love,
They don't read that.
He
part of the
doesn't
Bible.
have love. He is love.
Yeah.
And
That's
by our
crazy.
own nature, we're evil.
Yeah.
Because who taught us to do right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know what's right from birth. That's why kids,
You gotta scold
they
them.
grab things, they break things because they don't know what they're doing.
Yep.
And then you reprimand them to teach them the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how would you later on in life as an adult figure out what's right from wrong? Someone had to teach you how to do it.
Yep.
Where they get it from? Their parents. And where they get it from? Their parents. And where they get it from?
Shout out to dude.
Parents.
That guy's funny.
Where they get it from?
Their parents.
They
parents.
just, it's like,
It's been installed in you, bro. It's installed.
so
in you.
if it's from the parents, right? There has to be a first human.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, of course.
Well,
there has
just
to be a first human. So where did he get it from? Or where did they get it from? Their parents.
exactly.
Who's their parents?
Their
Who's
parents
their
is
parents?
God.
Yep.
It's
Well,
like,
where did
hey,
God get
But
it
that's
from?
good because the same thing is with the universe, right? We're talking about the proof of God. So where does the star come from? From this explosion and that explosion, where that planet and that planet. You keep going till you're gonna find there's a point. Well, where'd that point come?
there has to be a start point.
Yeah,
Has to be.
Like,
has to be.
everything has a start point. Like you're
Everything
like you're
life.
alive. You see this like you experience this. Everything has a start point.
Yeah.
It's just everything has a start point. Like you know what I'm saying? Like nothing can exist without a start point. Because
Yep.
where did it start at?
And then that start point had
It just
a,
didn't.
a cause or somebody behind it or some intelligence or
has to
some
be out of
mind
that.
Yeah.
to push it.
Out of that.
There's literally no evidence
Again, but that goes like we were saying.
against
what?
nothing creating something.
Yeah.
This is everything we see.
It's scientifically impossible. It's not observable because we,
Yeah.
like I told you, we could sit in a room in a vacuum. They could suck all the air out, all the oxygen. We could sit there and watch and wait till something to pop in. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna do it.
Never.
It's there, yeah.
It was just there.
No, I heard there was an explosion in the Crayola factory, and that's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the colors started mixing together.
Yeah,
That's
but-
so crazy.
But who built the Crayola factory?
No one.
It was always there.
That's the problem.
So if that was always there, why can't you believe that God was always there?
Oh, it's stuck at the drive-thru. they don't know what to order.
Yep.
I think the problem is that as people, we visualize everything, but you can't visualize God.
Mm-hmm.
He's intangible.
Yep.
So because we just only have what we know in the Bible, the idea of him, we don't see him. So for us, it's like, it's beyond our logic. So why would I do it?
And he's right.
It's hard to grasp.
That's why there's a lot of people that just believe in atheism, because it's based on our own logic. But God's outside of our logic.
Yep. And that scares us as humans. And anything that scares us, we
run away.
We run away
You
from
don't
it.
understand,
Yeah. Because the scripture says that God is knowable, meaning that there's things around that could be known, but we can't know everything that he thinks. Like we don't know his mind.
Can't understand his thoughts are above our thoughts. We can't understand it.
We can never.
And it makes sense we can't understand it because he's outside of everything we understand.
We were talking about that. And that's a good point because God is like the ocean. I think we talked about that.
I think
So we comprehend that there's an ocean, but we can't apprehend everything that the ocean does and everything that lives in the ocean.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. So God is almost like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you could comprehend that there's something there. Like the scientists are doing now, the Gnostics, right? They're believing, okay, there has to be a mind. There has to be something up there, but they can't apprehend
they can't.
Yeah.
the totality of the power.
They want hard, cold proof.
Yep.
When there's I've seen an argument that there's no proof of nothing. There's proof of like we have evidence, but there's no just hard, cold proof of of anything. Like, you know, like some people say, oh, prove you exist, and they get stuck. Like, oh, I'm alive. But what's the proof? Like, what's your proof for that? You have evidence, you're breathing, all this other stuff. But what's the proof? Like,
but you know what's interesting that you said? And we spoke about this too. If we do get the proof, will we understand it? In this position that we are now, because obviously it seems like we're limited.
Very.
And it looks like we've been taken out of a place of a great unlimitedness and dragged into another dimension for a choice that was done, and now we're limited. So even if they do show us proof, will we understand?
Our brains would explode.
Just you can't understand.
Interesting, right?
You can't understand.
And then there's certain people that I know, Mara knows, multiple people. It's just like, and then a lot of people, they try to push away from God because they want to know everything. They need to understand. Like, they need to understand everything. They need to understand, but you can't.
For knowledge,
he said, I'll never be satisfied until I understand everything that God does. Like,
shout out my dog.
You'll just never, and we spoke to him, like, you'll just never be satisfied. Like, you can't understand it. Even if you wanted to, even if it was presented to you, you wouldn't know what you're looking at. It's just outside of what you're thinking.
The wisest man in the Bible told me that everything is meaningless. Come on, man.
Everything in vain.
You gotta.
Solomon.
Yeah, man.
King Solomon, yeah.
Ecclesiastes, bro.
He had everything.
He
had all the girls.
The richest man.
All the money.
But in the end, he found out that
it means nothing.
That's
he's
crazy.
The wisest man. He not, you know.
The wisest and richest.
And he experimented in everything, too. Like,
he was doing like witchcraft and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was like talking to like demons and stuff. Like he was the richest man on the earth. Like, he could do whatever he wanted. And he still said, yo, none of that matters, bro.
Because he started doing that because he was bored. And then the
Yeah.
women that he wasn't supposed to have women from other places either.
Yeah, but then
he grabbed them because he's rich, and then they pushed him to do this stuff.
That's crazy.
That's another topic for another day. But the Star of David, which that Solomon had it on a ring, was never really the Star of David. Solomon created that, or was given that, to protect him from evil spirits.
Oh, really?
And then because he was David's son, David got, again, a Jewish person or a Hebrew person will correct us if we're wrong, but that's what I've read.
Beyond the Gate will return.